Okay, now
Mhm.
we're recording. Okay. Well, my name is Kelly Amos, and I have been a coach since 2008. Holly is my grandma. And with Beachbody, it is something that I use. I'm a health coach, and I teach group fitness classes, only 2 of them now. But I also teach at a college. And at the college, I teach PE classes as well as a nutrition class that's in the PE department that is nutrition for health, exercise, and sport. So nutrition and behavior change are the things that, I started in the fitness industry, managing health clubs and group fitness, and that's kind of how Holly and how our worlds came together. But one of the things about Beachbody was it allowed me to really diversify myself as far as what I wanted to do in basically in wellness. So I use Beachbody tools and programs with Beachbody customers, but also with my my health coach clients. And so one of the things that I love about Beachbody is their versatility in presenting healthy eating, but they have a variety of ways that you can approach it and options. So we really can meet the person where they are. It's just the more we know about it and know the tools and what kind of questions to ask, the better we can help them. And so that's what I'm going to be covering today is the Beachbody nutrition and what our options are and defining those. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And I have a few personal examples of tools that I use. So if we have time, I'll go over that, but I'm happy to, anybody can contact me at any time and I'm happy to do one-on-ones or whatever works. Okay, so Beachbody nutrition. And I'm going to go ahead and there. Okay, so the topics that we're going to be covering today are the program nutrition guides and plans, in how our introduction to various eating styles so that you can use those with people that are interested, our ultimate portion fix program, and our To Be Mindset program, and then some other resources as far as how to know where to find credible resources and some other places that you might go if you want to learn more about, get more educated in nutrition yourself. And again, I can do more one-on-one as far as individual interests. But our program nutrition guides, every single one of our programs has a nutrition guide. And so those of you that are newer coaches and are not really familiar with all the things we have available, when you get into Beachbody On Demand, if you click onto the specific program, you get the default screen is whatever is about the program. It tells about it. And then the next tab is to get into the workouts. And then the third tab is workout materials or program materials, excuse me. And so that's where you're going to find their nutrition guides, recipes, their meal plan, as well as the calendar and things. So I'm sure you all are familiar, but the nutrition guides for each one is really specific to the program. And we have various approaches. And so depending on the person's goals, whether they want to lose weight, maintain their weight, depending on the program that they've selected, put on lean tissue, whatever it is, we've got tools and systems that we can plug people into that will work for them as far as design. Most of the programs, and this is just giving you a little bit of history, again, those of you that are newer coaches, most of our programs will automatically include the containers. The container system, or the portion fix containers that we call them, they originated with 21-day fix years ago. And it basically, those containers revolutionized portion control and eating a variety of nutrients, more balanced nutrition. And so that's why, because everybody loved them and was having such success, and it just made sense. It was a tool that made sense to people and was easy to use. I'm saying that loosely, easy to use. And so that is what goes with every single program, although they might tweak it a bit, which is also helpful. Now, some of our older programs like P90X all the P90Xs, P90X, P90X2, and P90X3, they don't include the portion containers. But I'm going to encourage you, it's interesting to go back and see that history. If you go to P90X, you'll see that it's little squares. You have to have and that's the servings. And so really, a lot of it has just kind of transitioned with using the containers. And if you are wanting to learn a little, just for yourself, learn a little bit more about nutrition right out of the gate, P90X3, the nutrition manual there, is excellent. There are some things in all of those programs that are outdated. They'll have P90X bars and the recovery drink that we no longer even have. But the information there on how it's presented is very good, and I think excellent, and also has a sense of humor. And what you'll notice with P90X3 is it brings in portions using your hand, because you always have your hand with you. And so that might be something that might make more sense for someone. I am a precision nutrition certified coach, and that's what precision uses, is their hand. It's a palm, it's a fist, it's a thumb. So again, getting to know the person a little bit better as far as where they're coming from and where they are is important as far as how they're going to learn and what will work. But again, it's an excellent resource. And somebody needs to be muted. I can. And it's all whole food, balanced nutrition. That is our foundation, regardless of how the information is presented. I'm going to go ahead and mute, manage the. Okay, so now everybody's muted. Hopefully you can hear me. Holly will text me if you can't. Okay, so again, whole food balanced nutrition is our foundation. So you take away the bells and whistles, and that's all that you're going to get, which is something that is incredibly important to me, and one of the reasons, as far as the integrity of Beachbody with their programs and with their presentation of nutrition, that's one of the reasons I love them and will always use them no matter what. And we have really yummy recipes, yummy, healthy recipes, and that every single one of our nutrition guides is going to have their own recipes. And we also, if you go to the blog on Beachbody On Demand, there's a recipes tab there. If you haven't used it, there's a search bar. You can isolate by ingredients, and it's you can live there. And that's what I use for people to start, because one of the things about when they're using the containers, one of the things that I think that I find that they're most challenged with is how do I bring in the my eating into this container world, or how do I bring the container world into my eating? And it gets very confusing. Well, you're making chili. Why don't you just make this recipe? Then the measurements have already been done for you. So I encourage them to live with our recipes as they're starting to use those. The other thing that our programs do, or that Beachbody does with our nutrition, is we introduce various eating styles. So it lets people kind of try to see if something is right for them. And so you can get more specific with our nutrients. So we have our vegetarian and vegan options with our portion containers. We have that plan that you can follow. And in fact, another coach and I are we do a lot of challenge groups together, and the one that we're starting on Monday is an ultimate portion fix with a plant-based diet focus. So as a certified ultimate portion fix coach, you have, if you maintain that by paying the $19.95 per month, you get all of these materials, and they give you a new theme every month that you can do or not do. And so we have chosen to kind of create our own, but use some of Beachbody's tools. Besides, they get the course, everyone gets the course, but our information and our discussion and our focus is going to be in, again, incorporating more of a plant-based diet. So you can add themes to things, or if somebody is wanting to explore more of a plant-based diet, we have that option for them in a very healthy way with lots of tools. We were also introduced to time nutrition, and carb cycling came along with it with 80-day obsession. So that was time nutrition. It was very specific as far as what your goals were and when you were eating and what you were eating, and carb cycling, and that's when you would have your refeed day. And carb cycling and calorie cycling is actually those are both very effective approaches to weight loss. And so rather than having to research it and figure it all out yourself, you can just follow that meal plan and it's doing it for you. We also have high protein and low carb was introduced with Shift Shop. And so as the Shift Shop is a 3-week program, and as each week you shifted into a higher intensity of training and your nutrition shifted to being more higher protein and lower carbohydrate. So that again, now I have to say 3 weeks of doing something isn't really going to give your body time to adjust and really have an effective evaluation of whether or not that works. So I would encourage them to maybe continue to do that, keeping in mind that your training has to match your nutrition. If you're tweaking it for training purposes, then your training has to match that. And that goes more along with muscle mass. So that with Body Beast, that meal plan, if they're following that program to be a beast, then their nutrition would need to follow it. You don't have to figure it out for them. Just have them follow that meal plan. So now what we have newer to us is Beachbody is getting more, is appreciating that we need more information, we need more education, and that not every approach, just as we have so many different training programs depending on the person's goals, their fitness level, their time. I mean, there is not one person that can come to me and say that there's nothing that I can do to exercise. I can find something for them with our training plans or putting it together a hybrid for them. So sorry about that. So it's the same. They're appreciating that we need to have the same options with our nutrition. And when I started in the fitness industry, it was more about exercise, training, whatever. And then of course you're going to get into nutrition. And my focus was more on weight loss. And I worked with a lot of athletes, so more performance enhancement. But really, as I worked with more people, you become more aware that you don't need to get a certification in exercise physiology. You need to be a psychologist. So you need to get into their heads and appreciate behavior. So that's where these two programs are getting more in depth and educating them more about reading labels and grocery shopping. But these are two very different programs as far as who might as far as what you're going to recommend or suggest to someone based on what their goals are. So the Ultimate Portion Fix, it's based on external controls. So you have the container. So it's something external, measuring, you see it. It's very structured. This is what you do. This is how many times you eat this. This is how many times you eat this. And you measure it out. It's structured. There are rules. There are rules to this. And it's about portioned eating and finding that balance. And it is calorie based. In my nutrition class, and I'll refer to this probably several times during this talk because classes just started this week, but the very first day of my nutrition class, I tell them that I will never, ever, ever teach you to count calories. Never will I teach anyone to count calories. It's something that you need to be aware of, but know that there's a range. It's very broad. Your device that is tracking your caloric expenditure and your caloric intake can be off by up to 97%. So not only are the tools that you're using very inaccurate, but also the system for determining how many calories are in is over 100 years old. So that system is very outdated. And so it's inaccurate, as well as every individual is an individual, and how your body digests and absorbs nutrients is different. So there's so much wiggle room. But what I do like about the Portion Fix with the calorie based is it's a range, and And that's what's true. That's what's real. It's a caloric range, not just I got to hit my 1800. So it really, the focus is to give people an awareness of how and what they're eating. And I'm going to hopefully have time to tell you what I do, to tell you how I use the containers with just about everyone to create that awareness. Now, to be mindset, that's more internal controls. That's you, and it's kind of flexible, kind of a free spirit approach. It's the plate visualization, which goes along with my plate, myplate.gov. You can go there, but that's what's taught well, if it were taught in schools, that is what would be taught in schools. But that's kind of more the universal way of portioning by just seeing on your plate. And it doesn't restrict you. There aren't restrictions with it as far as and strict rules. It's just giving you, if you want to eat more, go ahead and eat more. Just eat more vegetables and drink more water. You can still keep consuming things. And so it's way more behavioral focused. And I would just say that if you are working with somebody that has struggled with an eating disorder or has those tendencies, I would push them more toward to be mindset rather than portion fix, because portion fix is introducing rules to them. And some people, they need the rules. Just tell me what to do. I mean, that's really what most people are like. Tell me what to do because I don't want to figure it out. But to be mindset is a little bit better for people who have more of a negative relationship with those rules. They were putting rules on themselves, and so learning to be more flexible and have more of an open-minded approach might be better for that person. So we need to meet them where they are. We need to learn how to talk to them. We need to be in their fridge. We need to see what's going on and be there when they open the door and have that awareness of, what am I doing? So here, I'm going to go ahead and click through these because I'll kind of float back and forth with talking about them. So understanding what their needs are. And here's where where do they currently exist? You've got to ask a lot of questions. So every response that they have, you're going to ask another question. You're going to ask a question to their question. So you want to know what has worked for them in the past. A couple of reasons you want to know what's worked for them in the past, because you're going to see what they've done, because quite frankly, whatever worked for them in the past really didn't work for them in the past, because it's not working. They aren't doing it anymore. So something about what they were doing didn't work. There was a missing element, and typically it's the behavior. But so you want to know what worked for them in the past and what didn't, and why. So why, when you were using your My Fitness Pal, why did that work for you so well? Because I had these calories and I got to watch them and I got to see them. And as soon as they quit doing it, then, or maybe they hit a plateau and it wasn't working anymore. So that's where you can bring back, well, I think you would really like this program with the Ultimate Portion Fix, because it tracks, it helps you track. You're a tracker. You like tracking, and it will teach you and give you that awareness rather than just a number on your phone, as well as what we can do, and I'll show you at the end what I use. We can look more at quality. So when you're just counting calories, a calorie is calorie is calorie. We don't know what the quality is and what's coming along with those nutrients. But when you're tracking with the containers, we can see what it is that you're eating, and then we can start to tweak things. And that's when you might shift them into one of these other styles of eating, like with 80-Day Obsession or Shift Shop or something, once they have that foundation. So, and you want to know what they already know. Number one, people might think that they know a lot, but they know a lot from the internet and some incredible sources. And so you want to know what they know, as well as, because you don't want to dumb them down, but you also don't want to be talking over their head. You want to just meet them where they are and kind of pull them along and give them bits of information, tastes as they go, so that they can comprehend and learn it and utilize it. And if they do want to follow a particular diet, like maybe they want to do intermittent fasting or keto, ask them why. Why do they want to do that? Typically, they're going to say because somebody else that they know was doing it and they've lost all this weight. And but you don't know where that person was coming from when they started. Maybe honestly, the most important thing and the best thing that you can do for somebody as far as coaching them and working with them is to establish a foundation of nutritious eating. And that's balanced portions, primarily whole foods. Once you have that foundation, then you can start to experiment with some other eating styles, but never taking away nutrients that your body either taking away or giving you too much of that honestly in the long run is going to harm you. With my nutrition class also on the first day, I will I'll say how you look at food right now is you look at it with your eyes. Oh, that looks so good. With your nose, oh, that smells so good. With your mouth, oh, that tastes so good. Or with your stomach, I'm starving. But how you really need to feed yourself is on the cellular level. So by looking at food and seeing that how, if I put that in my body, because food is chemistry and your body's chemistry, if I put that food into my body, how is it going to make my cells? What's it going to do to my cells? Is it going to make them thrive and be healthy and strong? Or is it going to go in and kick the crap out of them? And rarely do you hear of somebody that's diagnosed with stage 1 or stage 2 cancer. Typically it's stage 3 or stage 4 because things have been growing and festering within them that they don't see it. And so that things happen, you know, toxicity and detoxicity and harm happens over an extended period of time of living in that environment, not overnight or over 6 weeks or 8 weeks. It's the long term. So it really is important that we meet them where they are and we do small, sustainable changes that can be carried on. And again, motivational interviewing is really the key to this. And this is something that it's easy to find information and to learn more about motivational interviewing. But basically you continue to ask questions until they come up with their own answer. And you just keep on asking questions and they, you know, why is that? And why is that? And why do you think you feel that way? And how is that going to affect your life? And what does your life look like? It's just the question. They end up saying, yeah, I need to do ultimate portion fix. I need a challenge pack. I need to drink Shakeology. So tips on coaching. I hope I'm not talking too fast. I can't see anybody, so I'm just talking. So tips on coaching behavior. And again, behavior is key. And I'm just going to go ahead and roll these out too, because a few of them, the bullets, I like to group together. And I want to show you how they go. So first of all, coaching behavior, planning meals and snacks. So those are very simple things that for somebody who is currently just eats a lot of fast food, eats a lot of processed food, doesn't really know how to plan and prepare meals, is unprepared with snacks, goes to the vending machine, goes to the coffee shop, has that coffee in the afternoon because they're tired. I mean, just all these different things. Just starting out there and maybe picking one meal, you know, let's just pick one meal a day that you are planning. Maybe you are, and they get to pick one, pick breakfast, lunch, dinner. Which one do you think is going to be easiest for you to start with? And then, or planning snacks. So putting together some nutritious snacks, having them in your car, your purse, your bag, your desk drawer, whatever it is. But just starting out small. With the meal prep, that's something that there are different approaches to meal prep. Honestly, when I look at pictures, when people have their breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, all in these containers, that stresses me out. I mean, I think, oh my gosh, number one, who has the time for that? Number two, who wants to eat the same stuff every day? But that's one of the nice things in the Ultimate Portion Fix certification, or in the course, in the program, she teaches you how to prep like that, but she also teaches you her style, the AC style, which is how I do it as well, is I like batch cooking. I just want to have a bunch of protein. I want to have a bunch of veggies. I don't make it fancy. I just grab and go. When my children were young, we could look at a plate of things that they wanted to eat, and I could say, where's the protein? Okay, so they go grab a protein. They knew what a protein was. It wasn't something that had to necessarily plan and coordinate. It's just, I need to put protein in my body. Doesn't have to be fancy. Working with them with healthy recipes, again, directing them to the blog and just have them pick a recipe. Like, what do you like? I like chicken. Do you like stir fry? Yeah, so make this stir fry recipe. So kind of helping them along as far as giving them tools and seeing that they can do this and build confidence. In addition, like I said earlier, all of our recipes, as you know, are all portioned out for the containers. So it makes it much easier for them to get going with that if the measurement has already been done for them. Now, these next ones, sitting down to eat your meal, eating without distractions, eating to 80% full, and recognizing how to, or being aware of how to recognize your hunger and fullness, and then chewing your food slowly. Those are all, if people did that and if they wanted to lose weight and they did those things, they would. Sitting down to eat your meal rather than running all over the place. You don't have distractions. So if you're sitting down and you don't have the television or your phone or a book, or you're driving in your car, then you are going to be paying more attention. You're just going to be engaged in your food, which you should be. You're going to be more aware of just all of the senses of it and how satisfying it is. Eating to 80% full. If we eat with distractions, and we're moving around, we aren't paying attention to how much we're eating. And so there's a lag between when you're done and there's a hormonal release of okay, I'm full now, then, and your brain telling you that. So you will already be full before your brain is aware that you're full and triggers to release leptin. So a hormone that tells you that you're full. So it really is, it really does make a difference, eating to just 80% full, helping you to be better aware of how hungry you are and how full you are, and chewing your food slowly. And actually chewing your food slowly and without distractions is one of the homework assignments I give my class as well. And they have to pick 3 things within the week that they are just going to sit down and chew slowly. 3 different things, and they have to take notes on what they are aware of, noticing how the texture changes, noticing how much your tongue is involved. So you really can't take big bites when you're chewing slowly, and chewing longer, and also to notice how flavors might change for better or for worse. And so just, again, creating that awareness. The next one's here, going together with limiting processed foods, limiting sugar and salt intake, and I should have thrown in increasing fiber intake. So if you, and that will go along with reading labels, and both of the courses teach you how to read labels, teach you, talk about processed foods, talk about this stuff. And so it's not something you have to, if they are doing 2B mindset, if they're doing ultimate portion fix, you've got videos, you've got training, you've got education for them that's telling them that. And so you just follow up on them or give them some other ideas or support them, and keep them accountable. But honestly, if you had people, don't even worry about anything else. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to increase your fiber intake. You should be consuming between 25 and 35 grams of fiber a day. I want you to decrease your salt intake. So here, with only consuming, no more than this amount, and watching your sugar intake. So they're going to have to start reading labels because they're going to want to see how much fiber is in there. And that has too much sugar. And teaching them, the sodium, they're going to see that, man, I have to eat whole foods to get my fiber. I can't get my fiber intake on processed foods. I can't keep my sodium intake and my sugar intake. Well, I keep my sugar intake. I can't keep my sodium intake down if I'm surviving on processed foods and fast food. So these things, again, it's about creating an awareness. Behavior is an awareness. You just create an environment that supports your goals and create an awareness, and you will get results. So knowing your resources, what is the evidence? So if people are coming to you and asking you again about these, trendy diets and things, or if you are sharing information, just make sure that you have credible resources and it's evidence-based. Our blog rocks. We have so much in there as far as fitness information and nutrition information and behavior. I mean, it's so well-rounded. It just really is an excellent wellness site. So I wouldn't Google things first. I would go do a search on our blog first. Again, you're supporting your branding. If you notice, every single one of my slides here has my logo. And these are my branded colors. This is actually my font, my branded font. They're the same. So you want to try to use your sources, even though I do diversify myself and use other sources, but I still, Beachbody is my store, so I want to make sure that I'm that it's connected there. So use it whenever you can. .gov, if you see .gov, then it's going to be credible. It's free of conflict. It may not go to the level that you feel that it should based on the research, but they're working with Americans. So there you have it. You can't take it too far. Is the company trying to sell you something? So as you're reading research or looking at these different diets and things, what are they trying to sell you? Are they trying to sell you something because stores are trying to sell you something, people are trying to sell you something, and websites are trying to tell you something and sell you something? And that's the other reason that you need to be trustworthy, and that's where Beachbody is trustworthy. It just is. It's trustworthy. And whatever you are sharing, or and this will help you in your motivational interviewing, is where did you find that research? What's the evidence of that? Well, the evidence is that these 5 cyclists from Europe were monitored, these endurance cyclists, and they only had this much many carbs and this much fat and blah, blah, blah. Well, are you a 25-year-old professional cyclist from Europe? Might not work for you. The Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, A&D, formerly the American Dietetics Association, that great source, very credible. So what do they have to say about this? And again, so credible resources. Precision Nutrition, again, I'm partial to them, but the reason I chose Precision was because of their integrity, because they are research-based, they have a sense of humor, and they're incredibly well-rounded. So I use a lot of their resources. If you are interested in getting more information about this, then I think ACE, the Nutrition Specialist Certification, is great. It's just basic nutrition. It's a great place to start. If you do want a little bit more information, again, I'm happy to guide you or help you depending on where you are and who you're working with. So again, we just want to teach them awareness and balance, and that's what we do. Balance, you get higher, it's going to be a little healthier. We can even break it out by the week, and so we can start to fine-tune things, but we want that balance. We want to have that amount not overloading. And so now I am going to, I'm going to leave it at the Q&A. I'm going to change our sharing to, and actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to unmute everybody to see if you have any questions first. Let me get down here. My little thing went from the, okay, I'm struggling. Unmute, unmute, unmute. Okay, does anybody have a question about anything?
Awesome. Thank you, Kelly.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and, so Angela and Holly, you are still muted because you're in control. Actually, Holly is unmuted now. I am going to just share, if you'd like, I can share with you what I do with pretty much everyone. I don't give everyone portion containers. It's not for everyone, and I don't, sometimes they don't get one or the other. I want to be able to meet them where they are. And so one of the things that I've developed, the containers, I'm going to be honest with you, I loved them for using with other people, but I hated them for myself. Hate's a harsh word, but I don't eat by tally marks. I just don't eat by tally marks. So what I have done is I'm going to share with you some sheets that I've made and go through. So I call it access your location. So if you guys, I live in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and if you guys had flown in for this meeting and you're going to be at my house, I would give you my address, you'd plug it into your phone, and then your phone would say, we need to access your location. We need to know where you are to get you to where you want to be. Mm-hmm. And when you plug that in, you're going to have a variety of different routes to get there. You might choose the toll-free route. We don't have tolls here. But say we had a toll-free route, you can take the scenic route, you can take the fastest route, the one with less traffic. And this time of year, you're probably going to get a detour along the way because of all the road construction that's going on. So you might get detoured and find this other route. I kind of like this. No, I got to get right back on that other route as soon as I can. So you get rerouted. And that's what nutrition is. That's actually what nutrition and fitness are, is you have this goal and there are a variety of different paths to get there. So with people, this helps them. It's helped me help them get more of a buy-in to commitment and appreciate what these containers can do for them. So I give them, they have their containers. If they purchased a challenge pack, then they've got them. And what I do is I give them the tally sheet from 21 Day Fix. So I send that to them because it's writable. We pick the number of days that they think would give us an accurate picture of how they're really eating. So my Mondays and Wednesdays are busier than my Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I'm kind of a train wreck on those days. I also, so they might have Monday, Wednesday, Friday this way and another couple days. So we just need to get a real picture of, okay, this is what your life is like. And I don't ask them to measure prior to. I don't want them to bring the containers into how they are currently eating. I want to bring how they're currently eating into containers. So if they were going to have cereal, pour your cereal into the bowl, but then take a second and measure how much was that? How many yellow containers was that? That wasn't just one, that might have been 3. When you're pouring your milk, pour it into a measuring cup about how long you would pour, then pour it on your cereal and you can actually measure. Maybe that was it, maybe it wasn't. So we're getting in more of an idea of where are they heavy, where are they light? And so then by the end of this time together, we aren't going to be cutting calories. I'm not going to be taking anything away from you. We're going to be shifting. So then you create this awareness of, my gosh, I always grab those yellow. I've already had enough yellow. I need to grab green. I need to grab purple because those are the areas that I'm light in. So again, it kind of creates this awareness. So that's what I use the tally sheet for. Then I created my own spreadsheet because again, I don't eat by tally marks. And can you all see my spreadsheet here? I think you can. Lost you. I'm going to keep you there. Okay, so Cloud, can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so what I do then is and this also helps when I'm presenting it to them, if they aren't already drinking Shakeology, then they see that I drink, this is my sheet. I drink Shakeology every day. It's what I do. So that's the given. I know that I'm going to drink Shakeology every single morning for breakfast. And I don't put anything in, but if I did, then I would write it in. But this helps me see more the quality of what they're consuming and them as well. So what I would do is on Sunday night, I would plan my dinner. So when I talked earlier about prepping, just pick one meal. For me personally, I know how every single day of my life is going to start nutritionally. I don't change it. I will have Shakeology for my breakfast every single day. The next meal that is important to me, and mostly because I had a family that I was responsible for what they were eating, was dinner. So if I plan, so I want to know how my day is going to start and I want to know how it's going to end. Then I can fill in the blanks. I can fill in the blanks by grabbing some veggies, and I can see that. So if I'm going to make, the chicken fajitas that are awesome on our recipes, they actually are in the 21 Day Fix Extreme food, the recipes of that. So, and they are amazing, super easy to make. So I might put that together on Sunday night, and I would go ahead and fill in the container equivalents for my dinner. So then Monday morning when I get up, I know I'm going to have my shake. I know how my day is going to end. I have this sheet sitting on my counter or with me, and I see that I'm going to be having more protein tonight, and I'm going to have some starch tonight because I'm going to put mine on corn tortillas, and I'm going to have some avocado fat, so I can see what other things I need to grab and I need to eat. This also helps you as a coach so that you can see, wow, you eat a lot of white carbs. I see oatmeal. I see pancakes. I see white rice. I see corn or what flour tortillas. Can we get a little color in there? How about we add some beans? Here's a recipe that has some beans. So it really helps you ease them into and see just bit by bit how to incorporate healthier eating, just what matters, and that we want to have this rainbow. We want to bring in these whole foods. And so this is a tool that I've found very helpful, and people really like it. But some like the telemarks. I'm just not a telemark girl. So what I do is I adjust this based on the calorie equivalent, how many servings. I do that for them. And that's it. So, does anybody have any questions?
Well, actually, weird you say this. I had one of my newest coaches message me. I wanted to get the containers, but I can't find where to get them without buying the combo. So I'm like, I was about to send her the link so she could do it, but I'm now thinking maybe I should get more, in depth of her food before I even offer that. But
well, if she wants to, so this is a coach?
She just ordered, 30th of last month. So she's trying to get her shakes in every day. She's forgetting once in a while.
Okay.
She's usually eating twice a day right now. So she's not consistent. So
what I would suggest first is for her to do, since she's a coach, I would suggest that she does the Ultimate Portion Fix certification, because that's going to educate her whether or not she feels comfortable yet running challenge groups with it. It's going to be information for herself. She'll learn more about it. And the more you know about something, the more you're going to buy in. So it will help her to practice it. And she's got it. I mean, once you've purchased it, you've got it forever. So it's not like, and if you want to, I would welcome her into my Ultimate Portion Fix group that's starting on Monday. If you go, I can send you the link, but it's kellysnutritioncourse.pro, and she can register for that. And I can include you in the group as well, so you can either participate or be a fly on the wall. Whatever you want to do. But that's what I would suggest first, with the
one of the videos in there that you think pinpoints that in the mindset first to kind of learn more than just jumping off the cliff. That's usually what I do, is I jump off the cliff.
Yeah. Well, it all addresses some mindset stuff. I would say you're going to taking a course. She needs to learn how to eat properly. She needs to learn about proper nutrients and balanced whole food nutrition. This is something that it's a write-off. She can write off the expense of a course. And as a coach, it's a level of professionalism. I mean, it's going to help her. So basically, it's win-win. She's learning more about nutrition in a very simple, it's a very simple process, and makes sense, and you just start applying what you've learned. So I think that would be the best thing for her to do.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just so proud. She finally, every year I was visiting Arizona, I'd ask her to join. She's my friend from 35 years ago. She finally joined after 5 years of consistently bugging her. She finally came to me and said, I'm either going to have back surgery, but I think I need to try this first.
Well, and that says a lot for you too. It's the people are watching us. They're watching us for 11 years and I didn't go anywhere. So that in itself really it provides credibility, and whatever your level of integrity is, and whatever you are holding value to, people respect that. And so it's good for you to hold the course.
Happy when people say yes.
Yes. Yeah. Any other questions?
That was incredible. I mean, just incredible. Thank you so much. You always blow me away, Kelly.
Oh.
You do. I mean, so good, and so much knowledge, and so many little nuggets of like, I've never even thought about doing it that way, or, it was just fantastic. So thank you. Thank you very much. It's going to
The
be
way you tie it in your words and your thoughts, it comes out really good. So
Well, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and stop the